before it's too late. The Pioneer Roofing family has been fixing and installing new roofs for decades. From Boynton Beach to Coral Gables, they can help. Call Pioneer Roofing now at 786-ROOFERS. Tell them Jimmy Cefalo told you to call. That's 786-ROOFERS or online at pioneerroofingcompany.com.
Grab your shades, your flip-flops, and your free iHeartRadio app for the start of summer 2025. No matter where you go this summer, your favorite radio station, the music you love, and the best podcasts in the world will be along for the adventure. Make sure you have the free iHeartRadio app in your phone today.
Do you have an invention idea but don't know what to do next? Call InventHelp today. We have representatives nationwide who will explain the InventHelp process step by step. Over 10,000 patents have been secured through InventHelp's patent referral services. The InventHelp Databank includes thousands of companies who have agreed to review new ideas. We've been helping inventors since 1984. Let's help you next. Get started today.
Call us for free information at 1-800-558-5497. Again, 1-800-558-5497.
This is Two Pros and a Cup of Joe.
We're getting back into it.
Guess what? He's right.
If you go back, though, there was a lot of smoke in regards to the frustration of Caleb Williams and his party on his side of things with the entire draft process. Now we have confirmation that all that was true.
Two Pros. LeVar Arrington, Brady Quinn, and a Cup of Joe. Jonas Knox. 6 a.m. Eastern, 3 a.m. Pacific. Fox Sports 940.
I lived on a commercial salmon fishing boat in Alaska, and I genuinely think that was the first time I've ever felt myself kind of like slipping mentally. I think Alaska does weird things to people.
If you're interested in hearing anonymous callers like this tell stories from their lives, check out my podcast, Therapy Gecko. You can listen to Therapy Gecko on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Follow Therapy Gecko and start listening on the free iHeartRadio app today.
I'm Mark Anajar.
I'm Glenn Levine.
I'm Ellie Anajar.
And we're Anajar and Levine. Experience the Anajar and Levine difference by calling us with any of your legal needs. Call 1-800-747-FREE for a free consultation and take back control of your life.
Main office, Fort Lauderdale.
Fox Sports 940.
I'll see you in Miami.
Miami.
1-0 pitch. Stowers cracks that one out to center and deep. Siri is back. He looks up and it's gone. The Marlins waste no time. Kyle Stowers with a 2-run shot, and they take a 2-0 lead in the first.
Miami Marlins baseball is on deck.
2-1. That kicks away from Rodriguez. Hill breaks for the plate. There will be no throw. And on a wild pitch, the Marlins walk it off again. 1-2. Conine lifts out to left field. Tommy Pham working back to the warning track. So is Sawinski. They look up and it's gone. Griffin Conine to left center. And we're tied at 2 in the 7th.
Marlins on deck. Brought to you by ADT, the official smart security partner of the Miami Marlins, and Norwegian Cruise Line. Experience more at sea. Let's head out to the ballpark. Here's your host, Steven Strong.
Well, nice job, Carlos. Welcome live from Petco Park in San Diego, California. That is our scene here this afternoon. 67-degree overcast Wednesday here in San Diego. You're listening to Miami Marlins baseball on the radio. It's Fox Sports 940 Miami, and it's game 55 of 162. The Marlins will look to secure a 500 road trip with a victory today, and I will tell you this, their character and ability to flush last night will be at the forefront after losing a 6-0 lead. They plated 6 in the opening frame. San Diego then went on to score 8 unanswered, and the Marlins ended up dropping the middle game 8-6. Well, we're pumped to bring you Game 3, the series finale and the final game of this 6-game road trip for Miami between the 31-22 San Diego Padres and your 21-32 Miami Marlins. It'll be Sandy Alcantara who takes the hill for the 11th time this season. He started the first game on this road trip. He will close the book on it here this afternoon. Kyle Hart, 32-year-old southpaw, a journeyman, dare I say. More on him later. Hart makes his 6th start of the season for San Diego, and first pitch is slated for 4:10 right here on the Marlins Radio Network. Hi, everyone. Thanks for making Marlins on Deck a part of your Wednesday night with Jack McMullen and AJ Ramos. I'm Steven Strom. Where do we start? We said in the open, the Marlins plated 6 runs in the first. You felt like, okay, here we go. We're going to blow out the San Diego Padres. And then I guess just baseball happened. And the one individual that was in the spotlight after last night was Ronnie Simon, who committed 4 errors, and they did change it to 3. Ronnie Simon was forced to leave the game after a couple of errors that cost the Marlins some early runs. San Diego ends up scoring 8 unanswered, but it really was bigger than just the final score. The baseball community really rallied around what had happened last night. Ronnie Simon, of course, played a ton of games in the minor leagues and waited on an opportunity to get here. He signed a minor league deal with the Miami Marlins. Peter Bendix did work with him in Tampa Bay. He ends up making it to the show in the month of April and has been up here for the last couple of weeks. He had a nightmare situation happen to him yesterday. And this afternoon, Clayton McCullough talked about Ronnie Simon and what it was like to watch the baseball community rally around Ronnie last night.
I mean, I'm sure it made him feel great. I mean, this is a very difficult game. Right? And I mean, Ronnie is not the first major league player to have a game that, was not, ideal you're hoping for, make some mistakes. I mean, I think there's a lot of different cases, and to get that level of support from those, within our clubhouse as well around, that's great. I mean, I think it shows too, like, the type of person Ronnie is and how people, view him as a person and teammate and hold him in real high regard, and as they should. I mean, you spend any time around Ronnie, and like, he brings a smile to your face and ton of care factor, and yeah, it was just a tough night for him. But we'll just you rally behind it, and we keep pushing forward, knowing that this game is tough, and those things happen to and have happened to a lot of players over the 100+ years of this game.
So that was Clayton McCullough, Marlins manager, on Ronnie Simon and just some of the overall baseball community coming together to support Ronnie Simon. And again, this started with an errant throw to Augustin Ramirez that caused the Padres to score a run. And then it sort of just snowballed as the game went on. An error at second base, and then it flipped to second base. That could have been a double play, was flipped over the head of Javier Sanoja. And there was a shot of Ronnie Simon coming off the field after that inning ended, running to the clubhouse underneath the tunnel. And I think everyone, and I can speak for everyone up here in the booth at least, and we had talked to a couple other broadcasters here in San Diego, it was a really difficult thing to watch. A guy that is a professional baseball player, as vulnerable as you can be in front of 40,000 people, make the type of mistakes that he made, and probably made, in his sleep, as far as just ground balls and flipping over to second base. You do that a million times in your career. And when you get to this stage and you do what he did last night, it obviously can't feel good. And Max Meyer said it last night. He went up to him and said, "Hey, I know you're not trying to do anything on purpose. We got your back. Don't worry about it." And it wasn't just Max Meyer that rallied around Ronnie Simon. It was even Padres, including two-time All-Star Fernando Tatis, who had to say this last night.
It happens. It's baseball. I know everybody that has won a Gold Glove or Platinum Glove have had one of those nights. So I definitely know he's a great player. He has won MVP from Winter League over there in the Dominican, and I'm seeing him play really good baseball, and I have no doubt he's going to be a great baseball player. MVP. We saw each other in the field and say hi and check in.
Maybe it's one of those match, right? Maybe it's mental, like one area kind of snowballs. Like
yeah.
We talked about a couple of weeks ago. How mental can this game be?
It's definitely mental. Obviously, there was part of the game where it gets rough when you're running to one side, trying to catch a ball going to the other side. It's just baseball, and it's a really hard game, and but he's definitely gonna figure it out, and like I said, he's gonna ball out.
How about that, man? Again, just it's pretty moving to hear just these guys kind of reunite as not only baseball players, but as human beings. I mean, that's Fernando Tatis, two-time All-Star Gold Glover in 2023, won the Silver Slugger twice. On the other side, speaking in the clubhouse after the game. So again, Ronnie Simon, obviously a rough night, but it was pretty refreshing in a world that feels very negative. And when things go wrong, they want to harp and they want to blow it up, and misery loves company. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people in the world that probably thought what happened yesterday was funny or whatever it may be. But the fact that the baseball community, including Fernando Tatis, of course, Ronnie Simon's teammates, and we've talked to multiple broadcasters here. You'll hear Tony Gwynn Jr. in the following segment talk about it. Everyone collectively kind of came together and made sure he was all right. He was the first one out here on the field. Jack McMullen actually tweeted it out on X this morning. He was working with Marlins infield coach Tyler Smarslock. First guy on the field working, and maybe a lot of you are saying, well, he should be, but it cannot be easy, getting to the point where you're at in a big league career where you're waiting so many years in the minors to get to this point and to have a game where most likely he's never going to have that sort of situation happen to him again. Just credit to Ronnie Simon, credit to the baseball community, and credit to the Marlins organization and his teammates. Connor Norby, another one vocal on X last night, just showing all the support to Ronnie. We've got plenty more ahead. Of course, we'll get you ahead of the count. That's, I would say, in the hole. But Tony Gwynn Jr., who has been with the Padres for 9 seasons, 5th year full-time as an analyst on the radio. He joins us next in Jack McMullen as we get you ready for Game 3 series finale. Final game here from San Diego and final game on this West Coast trip. We're back in 2 minutes on the Marlins Radio Network.
Yeah, I mean, baseball happens to you, man. But it looks like he's ready to go today.
0-1. Stowers with a ground ball up the middle and throw for a base hit. He'll plate the first run of the game. Welcome home. Sanchez around third. He scores from second. Wagaman goes first to third and gives Kyle Stowers a round of applause. An RBI single for Kyle back in San Diego, and it's 1-0 Marlins in the top of the first round right away. 109 miles an hour off the bat. Liam Hicks spanks one through the left side of the infield for a base hit. It was a vacated left side. Stowers trying to go first to third. Throw going to third. Not in time. Hicks follows, goes to second, and the throw not in time there. 2-pitch. Norby, that was in on his hands. He bounces one over to third base. Machado coming home with the throw, and it bounces away from Diaz. Everybody's safe, including Stowers at the plate. Norby with an RBI fielder's choice. Machado tried to play some hero ball, but unfortunately for the Padres, the throw was low. And fortunately for the Marlins, this crooked number just got a little bit more crooked. The 1-1 of the switch hitter Simon batting left. That a ground ball up the middle again and through. A 4 spot for the Fish. Norby goes first to third. Hicks scores from third, and Ronnie Simon keeps the conveyor belt moving.
In a batter's box, and you're still able to get some contact.
3-2 pitch again. Simon moving, and not a ground ball through the right side of the infield. Tatis picks it up. He makes it a 5 spot in the first inning. It's the first major league hit and major league RBI for Victor Mesa Jr.
Not around.
Through, not around. I like that. 0-1 pitch. Sinoha lifts that one high in the air out to right field. Fernando Tatis gearing up for a throw home. He makes the catch. The throw coming.
Learn more, because no one strikes out termites and pests like Terminix.
Well, we're off and running here live from San Diego. Petco Park is our scene here this afternoon. 4:10 first pitch, Game 3 series finale between the Marlins and the Padres. A victory here today for Miami. They head back to the 305 with a 3-3 road trip. Took 2 out of 3 against the Angels. They dropped the first 2 here against the Padres. Steven Strom, host of the program, steering you to first pitch. AJ Ramos, Jack McMullen. Those 2 have your call. Plus, you'll hear them in about 10 minutes. They will join me for segment 4 to preview this Game 3 here on the final day of this road trip. Sandy Alcantara will go opposite Kyle Hart, but to get you ready, we had teased it. Tony Gwynn Jr., who's in his 5th season full-time as the radio analyst for the San Diego Padres. He caught up with Jack McMullen earlier today to talk Kyle Hart. What player reminds him of his old man, Tony Gwynn? And, of course, the situation that happened last night with Ronnie Simon.
All right, thank you very much, Stephen. Here with Tony Gwynn Jr., the radio analyst for the Padres radio broadcast, obviously. Tony, it was a weird one yesterday, and obviously we saw something you really never see, right? Ronnie Simon committed 4 errors. Obviously, officially it was 3 errors, but as a former big leaguer, what were you feeling kind of watching all that unfold last night?
Bad is what I was feeling. I think everybody has been in some form of that at some point in their career. You hope it doesn't happen at the big league level. You hope you kind of get that out prior to getting to this level. But it's just one of those things you feel for him because you know he's not out there wanting to make errors. But nonetheless, on the biggest stage possible, he's out there making them. And, you just hope he can bounce back from it.
We saw a 6 spot at the top of the first from our guys, and then you guys respond with 8 unanswered. And, we've seen the long ball. So far in these 2 games, we've seen Machado homer, we've seen Tatis homer, we've seen Merrill homer. When you look at the top third, top 4 in that lineup, factoring Arise into, obviously, the former Marlin, I mean, is that the best front 4 that there is in Major League Baseball, maybe outside of the L.A. Dodgers?
Right. I mean, listen, it makes a good argument to be at that top spot, even including the Dodgers. I mean, obviously, Ohtani himself kind of carries a kind of a big portion of that, along with Mookie and Freddie. But I think that is as tough of a 4 as you're going to have to go through, because they're really 3-4 completely different type of hitters, and they can put pressure on a pitcher in different ways. And so you go through those 4, and if there's a little bit of lapse, that's when 5, 6, 7 can get you, and kind of saw a little bit of that last night.
Obviously, Marlins fans love Luis Arise, and you guys are, the new digs for him. What's it been like getting to know Luis Arise?
Well, I mean, I personally have a special affinity for Luis, considering, he's probably the closest thing we have in our game today to what my dad was doing. So I have a certain appreciation for watching him go out day to day and be able to really dissect the field and put the ball where he wants. He's one of the few guys that comes to the plate and scans the infield as if he's going to be able to pick and choose where he hits. And I haven't really seen that since, back in that era where my dad was playing. So I appreciate him a lot. I think Padre fans have grown to appreciate him. When he's been out of the lineup, there's a significant difference in how the offense flows. And so, I think especially people here in San Diego, they know how to appreciate a hitter like that.
We're chatting with Tony Gwynn Jr., obviously the Padres radio broadcast. When you look at Sandy, what jumps out from afar? Obviously, we're watching it up close and personal. Sandy Alcantara is towing the rubber today with an ERA over 8.
I think the first thing that stands out is that his stuff is there still. Like, there isn't a drop-off in velocity, what it looks like. Now, it looks like from the couple games that he's experimenting with something else, with some other pitches there, and that always can throw off a pitcher, and not to mention he's coming back from Tommy John. So, I mean, I think that's probably the biggest thing. I think give him a year into this, we'll be having a completely different conversation. But, this is part of it. When you come back from TJ, you got to kind of work through some of these, I guess peaks and valleys that you have when you get on the mound, and he's clearly going through that right now.
Kyle Hart starts for you guys today, Padre left-hander. First it was Eric Fetty, right, who won that KBO Cy Young Award. Now it's Kyle Hart coming over from the KBO. What are we learning about this guy in his second stint in the big leagues?
I think he's still trying to figure out what's going to work at the big league level. I think he clearly has come back with a different kind of confidence that allow him to have success at the big league level. Now it's just about fine-tuning and executing. He's going to use spin to try to get guys out in front. He's really good at making pitches when he falls behind. I think that's how he gets some of the outs. But he's got to stay down in the zone. When he's gotten the ball up in the zone, he's been getting hit. So first start back since being called up. See how it goes.
Tony Gwynn Jr., last one for you. We think we have it good in Miami. Do you live in paradise in San Diego?
We like to believe so. Although the weather today isn't really showing what we usually have. So, hopefully you guys can get some sunshine before you head back home.
You got people behind you begging for a hello and a high five. The mayor of San Diego, Tony Gwynn Jr. Really appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you having me.
Steven.
Well, one of my favorites, Tony Gwynn Jr., who does a phenomenal job with Padres radio. He talks about Luis Arise, remind him of his old man, Tony Gwynn, who was one of the best hitters of all time. And Luis Arise is in the lineup tonight again for the Marlins. We didn't see him in Game 1. Ryan Weathers, of course, was the southpaw on the mound for Miami. But Arise is back in the lineup, batting second for the Padres. And interesting with Kyle Hart, we'll preview him next. I don't even want to get too much into him, but yeah, let's break here. We'll break. We'll get you out of the count. Sandy Alcantara, Kyle Hart. 4:10 first pitch. Stick with us. We're back in 2 minutes on the Marlins radio.
When he's on, that cutter is usually on the edge of the plate, away to a righty or towards the middle.
Next pitch, Ramirez lines that one to right center field. Tatis and Merrill both on the move. That splits the gap, and it bounces to the wall. Tatis' throw coming in, but Sanchez getting the windmill home. He scores from first base, and the Marlins are on the board right away. An RBI double for Agustin Ramirez. It's 1-0 Fish, 2 hitters in against Randy Vasquez. Say that to him in a moment where he's about to throw his 24th pitch. And Connor Norby charges one out to center field. That drops in front of Merrill. Another run will score, and Connor Norby stays hot. How important is it to go back to it so he can go to it maybe later in the game when he needs it? As Sanchez puts a charge into one. Out to center and deep. Merrill back. He jumps up, and it's gone. Jesus Sanchez, a line shot. 111 off the bat and 417 feet deep to straightaway center. Sanchez pounds his chest looking at the Marlins dugout, and he makes it a 3-0 game in the top of the second.
Still play off that.
1-0 from Phillips. That one a ground ball over to third. Norby's got it. He goes to second for one. On to first in time for two. Nice. 5-4-3 takes us to the 10th. Norby to Sanoja to Wagaman, and the pinch hitter Diaz bounces into the inning-ending double play.
Yeah, I got the call Thursday. The manager down there called me in the office after the game, told me I was going up. It was first time in-person call-up, so that was pretty special. You know, heart was racing and everything. And then next day I was on a flight, landed last night, and now we're here. You know, it's kind of full circle because I debuted here, haven't been back since. So coming back to Anaheim, you know, just...
This is Anthony Bender, and you're listening to Marlins on Deck with Steven Strom on the Marlins Radio Network.
Listen to your Marlins on the go. Download the iHeartRadio app. Make Fox Sports 940 your top preset to listen to every Marlins game. Petco Park, Marlins Radio is live from there. Steven Strom, Jack McMullen, AJ Ramos. Thanks for hanging out with us on this Wednesday afternoon. We also thank you for your participation. Let's get you ahead of the count. We'll start here with Sandy Alcantara, 29-year-old right-hander. He's going to take the hill for the 11th time this season. His 6th career start against San Diego. He comes into today 2-7 and 8 ERA, 47 innings pitched. In his last start against the Angels, allowed 6 runs, 5 of them earned on 5 hits, 2 walks, 6 Ks over 5 1/3. Sandy has given up at least 4 runs in 5 straight starts. He's lost his last 7, and career-wise against the Padres, he's 2-2 with a 2.84 ERA, 38 2/3 innings pitched in 5 starts. He will go opposite Kyle Harden. Follow me on this one, folks. 32-year-old southpaw who was a Red Sox 19th round pick in 2016. He debuted for the Sox in 2020. Then he elected free agency, and in 2022 signed a minor league deal with the Phillies. He was released by Philadelphia in 23, signed with the Seattle Mariners, and then pitched in the KBO in Korea with the NC Dinos. He won the equivalent of the Cy Young over there after going 13-3 with a 2.69 ERA. He then signed a minor league deal in February with the Padres and has now made some spot starts. 2-2 this year with the Padres, a 6 ERA, 5 starts, 21 innings pitched. He was recalled from AAA El Paso. He throws a sweeper, a changeup, sinker, 4-seamer, slider, nothing overpowering, about 90 miles per hour. Fly ball rate is 36%. League average is 23. I mentioned that just because that's the outlier with him. We heard Tony Gwynn Jr. He will fall behind, but he kind of has this magician act, kind of like Valente Belloso, where he figures out to collect outs. Kyle Hart goes opposite Sandy Alcantara. We will talk Sandy next on the Marlins Radio Network.
Miami Marlins fans, we celebrate.
Ball. And then he got a foul ball and a sinker, and then he went right back to the knuckle curve.
Yep.
1-0 pitch. Stowers with a rocket. That's gloved in the backhand by Rengifo. Goes to short for 1. On to first in time for 2. But a run does come in. No RBI for Stowers. That thing was smoked. 109 miles an hour off the bat. But Rengifo went down to his backside to glove it. And he tossed to short to begin that 4-6-3 double play. Sanchez does score from third base. So it's 2-1 Marlins in the top of the 5th. 2 men out. Runner at third, payoff to Wagaman. That one a soft tailing liner down in front of Kyron Paris in center field for a base hit. That one drifted into shallow center field, and that's an RBI single for Eric Wagaman. 2 spot in the 5th makes it 3-1 Marlins. Now the 1-2 from Caden Dana. That one launched down the left field line and deep. Ward is back. He's looking up, and it's a couple rows deep into the seats. And gone. Connor Norby went line hunting, and he belts his 3rd homer of the year. And some big-time insurance for the Fish.
Give us your last 48 hours.
Yeah, I got the call Thursday, the manager down there called me in the office after the game, told me I was going up. It was first time in-person call-up, so that was pretty special. You know, heart was racing and everything. And then next day I was on a flight, landed last night, and now we're here. You know, it's kind of full circle because I debuted here, haven't been back since. So coming back to Anaheim, you know, just fueled me a little bit more.
What were some of your emotions tonight?
Oh, I mean, it was just excitement. I was just excited to come out here and play ball and give the team a chance to win. Pretty much business as usual.
Well, we're rocking and rolling here on the Marlins Radio Network. We're live from San Diego, about 65 degrees, a little overcast, little weather update for you. Steven Strom, Jack McMullen, AJ Ramos. Marlins with a win today would secure a 3-3 road trip. Took 2 out of 3 against the Angels, dropped the first 2 in San Diego. Sandy Alcantara will go opposite Kyle Hart. Guys, we covered Ronnie Simon at length to open up the segment. We heard from Fernando Tatis. We also heard from Clayton McCullough. What was it like, AJ Ramos, just seeing the baseball community rally around what happened last night?
I think everybody can relate to having a horrible game, a game that where it feels like nothing's going right. Everybody comes here that is in the big league, has worked hard to get here. So when you have stuff like that happen, we all know what that feels like. It's obviously there's some physical things going on there, but it was mostly mental. And we want to, when you see somebody going through that, you want to help them out of that because we all know that Ronnie Simon's better than that. And that will probably be a blip on the screen or in the history because that's not him, you know? So
Sure.
Everybody wants to see him go back out there, overcome this, and go out there and get a chance to redeem himself.
Jack, what did you think, man?
I heard a little Lubbock, Texas, and AJ saying that's not him. That's not him. We got a little him right there. No, man, I thought the reception for Ronnie was really cool, both last night and today. Obviously, you see the emotion. And I also thought it was really cool that Ronnie spent about 6-7 minutes chatting with the media today. Like, he faced the music. He faced the music. And he was out here doing that early work that you talked about with Tyler Smarslock. It's just cool to see everybody, Marlins fans, Padres fans, fans of baseball, fans of just human competition and human peak performance, like empathize with Ronnie Enriquez and you know, empathize with him to a certain degree, but also just sympathize outright, right? Like, hey, this guy felt really bad about what happened in a baseball game yesterday. Opportunity to bounce back today. We'll see if Ronnie gets into the contest, whether it be in a pinch hit role, pinch run role, or a, you know, even defensive replacement role. But this is not the last time you see Ronnie Enriquez put a Marlins uniform on, and I think that is the single coolest thing about this.
Ronnie Simon not in the lineup tonight, but we'll see if he comes on as a defensive replacement in any way, shape, or form. AJ Ramos, why should I be confident in Sandy Alcantara this afternoon against the Padres?
Because it's a matter of time before he breaks out of this. Again, there's been some bad luck that happened to him. But the main thing I feel like when you watch him walking around, you watch him go through his work, I've been able to be on the field and see him go through his work. He has that belief. He has that understanding that this is just what it is, you know. And when you hear conversations that he's having, he understands that this is part of it and that it's a tough time right now. But when you look at his stuff, it's there. You know, besides maybe getting his four seam out of the middle of the plate, maybe some sinkers out of the middle of the plate and sliders. But for the most part, the guy is executing his pitches. It's just we have to see him throw with conviction.
Yep.
And for the most part, he throws with conviction, I'd say 85-90% of the time. But then there's other times where you can start seeing the, oh, no, here we go again. Maybe a play isn't made, or maybe they get a broken bat hit, and it seems to where his head starts to go, oh, no, and he tries to get out of that. You can't allow that type of mindset to even enter your mind. You say, whatever, that just happens. I'm going after the next guy like there's nobody on right now. So I think you're going to start to see him turn the page a little bit and go out and be Sandy.
I think a big storyline this afternoon, how Clayton McCullough manages Sandy Alcantara. Now, we don't want to go to the extent of what happened with Cal Quantrill after 46 pitches after 3 1/3, but will Clayton McCullough maybe make a decision if Sandy goes through 5 innings of scoreless? Will he then throw to someone in the bullpen? I think that's a big question on how he handles Sandy today. Now, he'll go opposite Kyle Hart. Jack, I know you're a big KBO guy.
Huge KBO guy. Yeah.
This guy won the equivalent of the Cy Young over there in Korea, 13-3 at 2.69 ERA. Not the same success this year, but what can you tell us about Kyle Hart, the southpaw?
Well, there's precedent to this, right? Think about who won the KBO Cy Young equivalent the year before, and actually the KBO MVP. Eric Fetty. And Fetty then signed with the White Sox on a 2-year, pretty friendly deal. He's making about $9 million a year. I actually think it's like $7.5 million a year. And he was a popular commodity at the trade deadline. And obviously he's a good pitcher for the St. Louis Cardinals, who are hanging around the Chicago Cubs in the National League Central right now. So there are guys that are historically not very good relative to the rest of the league right now, and then go over to Korea, have something work, have something click, and then come over and be a better version of themselves. I think the Padres are hoping that Kyle Hart is that. He did not throw to the ability that Eric Fetty did in Korea. That's why Fetty got a 2-year deal worth north of $15 million, and Hart's on a 1-year kind of prove-it deal. But Kyle Hart is a guy that had success in maybe the third best, highest level in the world, right? It would go Major League Baseball, and then it would go the NPB in Japan, and then the KBO in Korea. So Hart is a guy that is not going to overpower you in any sense of the word. He's a crafty lefty, like you pointed out. But you know what? Like, you talk about, Sandy, confidence, conviction. Yep. Sometimes you can find confidence and conviction in Korea if you go over there for a little bit.
This will be only the 12th time that the Marlins will face a southpaw starter. We will see how they respond. And a lot of things at stake. A win today, 3-3 road trip. But did we tell AJ the rookie Marlins radio thing, if you don't come on here with a winning road trip, that in the next time we all get together on the West Coast in Arizona that we get coffee if the Marlins don't win and get to a 500 road? Did we tell him that or no?
No.
I didn't know that was a thing.
That's a thing.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know. Well, I don't.
A lot of pressure today on you, AJ.
I don't think I dealt with that thing.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna have to worry about that. All right.
I also think Steven just made that up.
I thought you had my back, Jack. We'll break here. We will hear AJ and Jack at 4:10. I always look down and I see 12:59 because it's local time, but it's really a 4:10 first pitch. I got a break here. Expo question, Steve's guarantee. It's all next on the Marlins radio.
Yeah, I mean, baseball happens to you, man. But he looks like he's ready to go today.
0-1. Stowers with a ground ball up the middle and throw for a base hit. He'll plate the first run of the game. Welcome home. Sanchez around third. He scores from second. Wagaman goes first to third and gives Kyle Stowers a round of applause. An RBI single for Kyle back in San Diego, and it's 1-0 Marlins in the top of the first round right away. 109 miles an hour off the bat. Liam Hicks spanks one through the left side of the infield for a base hit. It was a vacated left side. Stowers trying to go first to third. Throw going to third. Not in time. Hicks follows, goes to second, and the throw not in time there. 2-pitch. Norby, that was in on his hands. He bounces one over to third base. Machado coming home with the throw, and it bounces away from Diaz. Everybody's safe, including Stowers at the plate. Norby with an RBI fielder's choice. Machado tried to play some hero ball, but unfortunately for the Padres, the throw was low, and fortunately for the Marlins, this crooked number just got a little bit more crooked. The 1-1 of the switch hitter Simon batting left. That a ground ball up the middle again and through. A 4-spot for the Fish. Norby goes first to third. Hicks scores from third, and Ronnie Simon keeps the conveyor belt moving.
In a batter's box, and you're still able to get some contact.
3-2 pitch again. Simon moving, and not a ground ball through the right side of the infield. Tatis picks it up. He makes it a 5-spot in the first inning. It's the first major league hit and major league RBI for Victor Mesa Jr.
Not around.
Through, not around. I like that. 0-1 pitch. Sinoha lifts that one high in the air out to right field. Fernando Tatis gearing up for a throw home. He makes the catch. The throw coming home is a little bit offline. Simon in safely with a head-first dive. Mesa tags and pushes baseball and softball programs. Do not miss your chance to win while also giving back. Visit marlins.com/raffle for more information.
Got to be quick here. 9 minutes away from first pitch. It's the series finale. The Padres, the Marlins. Sandy Alcantara goes opposite. Kyle Hart here this afternoon. A win today, a victory today for the Marlins. They would secure a 3-3 500 road trip before they have an off day on Thursday. Friday afternoon, or Friday night rather, they will open up a homestand at Lone Depot Park. Take the Marlins wherever you go. Download the iHeartRadio app. Make Fox Sports 940 the top preset to listen to every Marlins game this season. Our at Marlins Radio X-Poll question today. Luis Arraez, of course, former Marlin. He's batting second here for the Padres. He had the first ever cycle in Marlins franchise history. Our X-Poll question, who did he do it against? At Marlins Radio, make sure to vote. It is time for Steve's Guarantees.
Batter up.
Batter up.
Let's play some ball.
First pitch is moments away. Time now for Steve's Guarantees.
I fear it's going to be a long day for Kyle Hart. I really do. Augustine Ramirez, Connor Norby, those are the two individuals I'm looking at. Kyle Hart doesn't throw extremely hard, 90 miles per hour. That's where he kind of averages at. 32-year-old southpaw. I like this matchup to our two righties, Augustine Ramirez. I also fear Augustine might lead off with a home run. I'm doing the win horse, kind of two index fingers up in the air. But I like Augustine Ramirez and Connor Norby to register an extra base hit. But I'm also saying I just have a funny little feeling that he might lead off with a home run. That's my take. Folks, I hope you got the itch for first pitch, because when we come back, Jack McMullen paints a picture. AJ Ramos, he's ready to rock. Starting lineups and first pitch is right around the corner. Thanks for tuning in to the Marlins On Deck pregame show. I'm Steven Strom. Let's flip the M together, Miami Marlins baseball. It's next on the Marlins Radio.